What's up, guys? It's December, and you know what that means. 2024 is coming up and 2023 is coming to an end, which I think is really crazy because I cannot tell you what the hell happened this year. But first, cheers. It hits every time. Seriously, why make it? I mean, why buy it when you can make it at home? So, since it's December, I want to talk about how we can start our glow up process for 2024. Why wait until January 1st? I mean, you could wait until January 1st, but you know, do as you wish. So, I just want to talk about things you can do to glow up, to be the best version of yourself and stop caring about what other people think and start living the best life that you deserve to live. So, I guess the first thing to do is to look at the kind of life that you want. Like, be really specific. Don't be like, oh, I just want to have like a good job. No, like, what do you want to do? How much money do you want to make? Like, is there more you want to achieve aside having a 9 to 5? Do you want to be like a boss? Do you want to own your own business? Like, get real specific with what you want. So you have to take a hard look at yourself, right? So look at where you are now and look at where you want to go. And look at the changes you're gonna have to make to get from where you are now to where you wanna go. Because obviously, all the things you've been doing up until now has worked to a certain extent. But if you're not happy with where you are now, you're gonna have to make changes to get to where you want to be. It's really not that hard. It sounds really difficult. A lot of people find that really, really hard for some strange reason. If you want to change things, I'm gonna need to really clarify this because I feel like a lot of people don't understand or they miss this part. If you want something, you're gonna have to sacrifice something. Like, you cannot want something and not work for it. You can't want something and do nothing about it. You have to sacrifice something. You have to be hungry for this change. If you don't want it bad enough, you're not gonna get it. That's truth. Sorry. I was like that. I wanted to make money. I wanted to do things. I was lazy. Like, I just didn't want to do things. I didn't want to make sacrifices. But at some point you realize, like, oh, you're gonna have to make some changes, some sacrifices to get you where you want. So yeah. The next thing is stop caring about what other people think about you. I know it's so hard. It is so hard. Like, oh, like how do you not care about what people think about you? Well, you have to ask yourself, why do you care about what people think about you in the first place, right? Because all those ideas that you're not good enough, that you can't do this, you can't do that, it wasn't put in your head by you. It was put in your head when you were a child growing up, all that stuff, right? Like, probably your parents. I come from an Asian household, so you know, I'm not smart enough, I'm not skinny enough, all that shit, right? So it wasn't you that said those things to yourself. It was like people who put that in your head. So now, like, you're so afraid of what other people think about you. So you do things, you people please to make people like you. No, we're not doing that in 2024. We are literally not doing that anymore. The only reason why you care about what other people think about you is because you believe that there's some truth in it. So if someone says, like, you're fat, like, you care about it because that's like, there's something in your head that you believe that you are fat. So when someone says it, it like solidifies that thought and it doesn't make you feel comfortable. If someone says something about you that you didn't care about, that you didn't believe in, then you wouldn't care about it. But so when people say things that you believe in, then you care about it. Like, for me, I feel like when I started content creation, I feel like I had like the biggest imposter syndrome. I'm like, oh my god, like, excuse me, no one's gonna listen to what I have to say. I feel like I don't know what I'm saying. You just have to believe in yourself and just do it. No one is stopping you but yourself. I'll tell you that. So every time you tell yourself you can't do something, why can't you do it? I know, like, there's certain things we can't all do, you know, but I mean, like, within your means. I feel like people take things out of context, so I just have to clarify. But like, if you want to travel, why can't you travel? If you want to start that new business, why can't you start that new business? You want to lose like 10 pounds, why can't you go to the gym? You know, you have to ask yourself these things, like why can't I get myself to do it? You know. And I want to say, discipline is the highest form of self-love. Now that I take a step back and I look at all my friends or like the people around me, the people who have the strongest self-discipline is the ones that are most grounded. They're the ones that are the happiest. I don't want to go to the gym. I would love to rather lay on my couch and be skinny like that, but that's not how life works, right? So all my friends that go to the gym who are very like on point with their routine, I feel like they're more grounded, they're more responsible. They have their shit together, pretty much. Because having discipline is basically sacrificing what you want now for your future, right? The future you is like depending on you now. So every time like you want to go to the gym and you make the decision to go to the gym and eat healthy, future you is thanking you, because you're sacrificing what you want. Like you want a Big Mac or something, right? You're like, no, you're sacrificing what you want right now for yourself in the future. So I learn discipline. I seriously think once I heard that discipline, you correlate discipline with self-love, it just makes so much sense. It just makes so much sense. Who's gonna believe in you if you don't believe in you? You have to believe in yourself. Look at who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with people who are driven and motivated, then you will get far, because that's all you're surrounded by. So that's all you're gonna think about. If you're surrounded by people who just want to go out and party and drink, that's all you're gonna do. So I really think it's a good thing to really take a step back and audit your friends. I'm not saying like cut them off, like this is not what this is about. Like, I'm being serious. Like, you really are like the 5 people you spend your time with. So it's good to see where you're putting your energy towards, right? So take a step back, see who you're spending time with, see who's good for you, and see who you need to distance yourself from. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you have to put yourself first. Sometimes there are people who are just not good for you, or like they're not good for your growth. They're not bad friends. They're just not good for your growth. That's it. It's really not that deep. It's really not that deep, okay? You know, like, let's say you have friends who are always so critical of you, and you feel like everything you do is just never good enough for them. Maybe it's time you take a step back from those people, because you know that they're not good for your growth, your mental health, or whatever it is. Everything you do is not good enough for them. So you know what to do. Just an example. So the next thing to glow up in 2024 is to prioritize daily self-improvement. And what do I mean by that? I know we all hate the journaling. I know we all hate the meditation. I know we all hate the stretching, but we have to do it, okay? This is literally for your body, mind, and soul. If you don't want to journal, you don't want to write in a notebook, that's fine. I write my notes, my stuff in my notes app on my phone. It's actually a lot easier for me, because when I have a thought, I just write it down, right? Instead of like running to get my notebook and writing it down. So I think that's a lot easier. When I start overthinking, or I like am overstimulated, I just write in my notes how I'm feeling, and I feel a lot better getting out of my system. And then I know meditating is really boring, but it's not like about silencing your mind. It's like about just sitting with yourself and your feelings and being aware of your thoughts. Like, you can think, let it go, let your mind, actually it's the time to let your mind go crazy, and you can really sit here and observe your thoughts. You can observe like yourself, and I really think it's really helpful, and it really calms you down too. I listen to like meditation music when I meditate, and I also think that really helps, like makes a big difference. I listen to like frequency or like sound bowls, so I think that would be a good thing to do if you think meditating is too boring. But seriously, meditating is really good for you. And it's sometimes like we're just so in the hustle culture, we're always like on our phones, we're always grinding and hustling all this stuff, that we just don't have time to kind of just be with ourselves, or we're like on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, doom scrolling. So meditating is a good moment to kind of just sit, just breathe, and just kind of calm down a little bit. Like, it's very good. Like, just try it. Give it a chance, come on. And stretching. I think as we get older, our bones and our muscles are not, we're not spring chicken no more, okay? Let's just accept the fact that we have to take care of ourselves. We can't just be chugging back shots on a random Thursday night and expect to be fine the next day. Like, we can't do that anymore. So I go to the gym and I stretch after every workout, because when it gets cold, my joints know. And then once you start doing all these things, you become more in tune with yourself. Then you stop seeking external validation from other people. You start to be more in tune with yourself, and you don't need people telling you they like you. You don't need people complimenting you. You don't need the things that you thought you needed from people when you realize you can get it from yourself. Okay, like I promise you, you will get there. It's an amazing feeling. It definitely takes a lot of time, but you have to give yourself a chance. No one's gonna give you that chance. Only you can give yourself that chance. And I cannot emphasize this enough, but yes. It's only your life to live. Your life to live. I learned so much in the last few months about myself. Like, you will always change. Humans are just evolutionary beings. We're always changing. That's why I feel like sometimes we lose a lot of friends or like relationships, because we change and they don't change with us, or sometimes they can't bear to see us change, and we're changing and we show people that they're not changing and they're not ready to change, and sometimes, you know, we lose relationships and friendships, and that's okay. You don't want to lose, let's look at this. You don't want to lose yourself for other people, because at the end of the day, you are the main character in your own story. It's your life. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care if you love your partner. I don't care if you love your best friend. Like, they have their own lives. This is your life. No matter what you do, they cannot live your life for you. They can't tell you what to do. They can't fix your problems. You have to do all these things for yourself on your own. Wow, I got really passionate about that. I'm just trying to say, no matter what stage you are at in life, embrace who you are. Because there are going to be times when you're feeling so good, you love who you are, and there are some times where you'll be so down bad, you don't like yourself, you don't like who you're becoming, you don't like this dark version of you, but all these parts are still you. They make up who you are. So embrace who you are, because you're always shifting, and find people who will love all these different versions of yourself. Mastering self-confidence. And how do we do that? How do we do it? Oh, Taimei, I don't have confidence. I don't have that. I'm scared of being seen. Oh no. Cut that shit, okay? Confidence is a skill that you learn. Some people, yes, are born with it. Some people are just naturally like charismatic, okay? But it doesn't mean that you can't build your own confidence. Let's just start with, no one knows what the fuck they're doing right now. No one knows what they're doing. Okay, so when you're in the room and you see like, wow, these people are so confident, they probably don't know what they're doing. They're probably just like, shit, fake it till you make it, because I tell you, I do that. So to start mastering confidence is to start working on yourself, being self-aware of yourself and loving yourself and doing things for yourself. That is where confidence comes from. No one can give you confidence. It's like you literally have to practice it. If you're scared, like you're so scared of being seen, you know, you have to practice. How do you practice? You can do it anywhere. You can literally, like, when you're walking in the grocery store, practice your walks. Practice how you carry yourself. Like, you know, shoulders back, head high. Like, just, you know, you can start off small. Yeah, start off in a grocery store. And then, like, if you're at a party, I don't know what parties go to, or bar, I don't know, house parties, whatever floats your boat. Take your time. It all comes with practice. And then slowly, you naturally build your confidence and you're not afraid anymore. But it really, really comes with it. You have to be at peace with yourself to be confident, I want to say. Yes and no. I think true confidence is being comfortable with yourself, with your most authentic self. Like, you don't have to pretend to be somebody else when other people are around. I think that's where true confidence is, and that's what I mean when it says it comes from within. Because there are people who are not the greatest people, but they're still pretty confident in themselves, you know? So I think true confidence and true beauty comes from being the best version of yourself unapologetically. What I believe. So just be yourself. Seriously, just be yourself. I know like a lot of people are so scared. They're so scared to be themselves. And I get it, I was like that too. It just comes from just a scared place where when you were younger, like, you know, you weren't allowed to do things, or like you got shamed for being yourself, you got made fun of for being yourself, and now we carry that into adulthood. But these days I'm learning to, I don't give a fuck. Like seriously, like after a while you just don't care anymore, because at the end of the day, if you care so much about what people think about you, it's like not your life to live. True confidence comes from being self-aware of your good qualities, your bad qualities, and accepting yourself as all of that. When I was healing myself, I wanted to fix everything, and I think that's like a big trap that we all fall into, is that we just try so hard to keep fixing all these little things about ourselves when we fail to realize that all these bad parts are also part of us. And I know like some people, including myself, like it sucks, like these things happen to us as kids, but it's not our fault. However, it is our responsibility that what happens after is on us. You can become what you went through, or you can choose to be at peace with yourself. And I think true wisdom comes from quelling the anger inside of you. Because there are days when I do get really angry, but I am so glad that I didn't become what I went through. And I think that in itself is like a feat, and I think anybody can do it. I don't believe that like you have to be angry to, or hold on to things, or like protect your peace, like things like that. I was like that, but now that I feel like I'm on the other side of it, of all that, I feel like those things don't really matter. It's so hard to explain. You pick and choose your battles, and sometimes like just because you let things slide doesn't mean like you're not aware of it, you know? But I think it all correlates back to knowing that what people do to you, it's not a reflection of you but them. You take things a lot less personally, so that's why you become more peaceful. You're like, they did this because that's just how they are, it's not on me. And you know, like it just becomes a little easier. Yeah. I want to do a lot in 2024. I want to start living for myself, so I booked a trip to Japan by myself. My friend is going to be there already, so I'm going to meet up with him for a little bit. But I have always wanted to venture out to the world by myself, and I feel like for a long time I lost myself. Like I used to be so fearless and bold and brave and like adventurous, and then somewhere along the way, I don't know when, I don't know where, but I became somebody else, and I didn't know who that was anymore. I think it was around probably like 2017 when I met a bunch of people, and I never really had like a family, like a, you know, like a happy family, because, you know, chaotic family. So when I found these people, I was like people pleasing like crazy to do things for them, because I was like, oh my god, like if I don't do these things for them, like they're gonna stop loving me. Like it was so bad. I know. So after a couple of years, I realized like, oh, I really gotta stop people pleasing. I really gotta stop doing these things, because I'm really burning myself out. And then COVID hit, and then after COVID I started therapy, and I realized like, oh, I have a lot of things to work on. So for a long time I just felt like I was living for others instead of myself. You know, I went to college because my parents told me to. I went to a university that my dad wanted me to go to. I was doing all these things for everybody, and then I was waiting for people to go with, like, hey, like, do you guys want to go, like, or waiting for my boyfriend to go. So I kept waiting for someone to give me an opportunity to do things when I could have just done this shit by myself. Like, I booked the flight and I was like, wow, I could have been doing this by myself earlier. Like, what the hell was I waiting for? Like, seriously. Like, I know like you want to experience things with your friends and your family, or like your partner. I get that, I do too, but I don't know, I guess I just see it very differently. Like at the end of the day, it's my life that I want to live and experience. So yeah, I booked the whole fucking flight. Like I want to throw up. And like I'm so excited and so scared at the same time, but I just think this is what life is all about. Like it's where that fear is, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone, like doing things for yourself. And it's so exciting. Like it's like really like sparked something in me, because I'm like, wow, like if I can go do this by myself, I can fucking do anything. Like you can literally do anything you want. So like it's not impossible. If you want to make it happen, it will happen. So what are you waiting for? Make 2024 your bitch. Totally vlog all that. I'm like really excited. It's been exciting. It's been really rough. Working on yourself is not easy. It's not. Like it takes a long time. It really does. I'm just rambling at this point, but I don't really care. 2024 is gonna be a good year. I can feel it. So do your best, guys. I believe in you. This video is really chaotic. I feel like my thoughts are always like everywhere, but the more you work on yourself, the more you dig deep, the harder you go at it, the output will be amazing. The greater you will feel. You know how you get triggered? So I look for glimmers. So every time I feel like I did something good, or like I stop myself from repeating an old pattern or old thought, or like an old negative thought, the universe sends me a glimmer, like a little reward, something small. Like let's say like I was overthinking or something, or I was about to get into a fight with my boyfriend. I was trying to start something and I stopped myself, like, oh no, like this is an old pattern, like I shouldn't do this. And then I go to a gym and there's a parking spot right in front of the gym. That means I got a reward. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. I think it's been working. I think it really helps. So yeah, instead of thinking of looking for triggers, look for little glimmers. I hope everybody glows up in 2024. I know this was not like the typical video of like writing down your goals and like going to the gym and eating healthy. Like all that does matter, but I'm talking about like glow up internally. Yeah, like an inner glow up. Because I feel like once you get it together mentally, everything else will fall into place. I feel like we chase all these things externally to try to not face our fears or our demons or whatever it is we're running from, but it will all catch up to you. You can't hide from it forever, I'll tell you that. And the more you run from it, the bigger it's gonna get. And then when you actually have to deal with it, it'll be that much harder. So nip the bud while you still can. Don't wait like me. I waited like probably 28 years. So I had 28 years of stuff that to do it. So that really kind of sucked. But we're all better now. A lot happier. I just had to wait for my ice machine. But yeah, I hope this helped. Thanks for joining. We're gonna make 2024 our bitch and kick some ass. I believe in you, and I believe in myself, and we're gonna do this together. I love you guys.